I've read everything I could find about the on-rise armor, and I don't think this thing is an underwater armor. But let's be real, I'd rather it be a generic booster type instead of underwater, because we've seen the Mark 1 Gundam and how limited its usage is. So I am absolutely sorry, Aqua. Everything that's related to water is completely and utterly useless, just like you. What is going on, guys? MG2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade on-rise armor from Gundam Build Divers Rize. Now, the instructions in the box don't tell you anything about this thing, so all we have to go by is our imagination. So, yeah, this is the Butler bot of the core Gundam Rize, I'm calling it here. And there's nothing I can follow up with because there is no information about this thing. I can say that the looks look really unique, and it looks like an individual bot that can fight alongside the core Gundam Rize, and the thick limbs do actually work with the slim body, and that the V-fin extension acts as a bow tie, and that there's stickers for the metallic green and the whites on the chest. That's basically all I can tell you about this thing because there is no information to go by. Yeah, and I can tell you that it also has pretty good articulation for basically a mannequin that houses the on-rise armor. So let's go through that. The articulation, of course, no head, and of course we have the arms over here that can swivel all the way around, and they can go out, and of course the armor housed on here can actually rotate. And the forearms, basically, can actually rotate, and that the claws on the arms can actually open up, so you can actually grab something with it. Of course, there's no waist, and then the legs are kind of interesting because they can actually be pushed all the way in to actually lock them into place, so they can only go forwards and back. But if you pull them out a little bit, you can actually utilize the ball joint to actually give it more articulation, so you can have a little bit of leg movement. And of course, it does have a bend at the knee. So for a armor rack, this does have pretty decent articulation, so you can actually put it in some rather peculiar or even stupid poses, but it does allow you to use this thing as a separate unit to fight alongside the Gundam Anima Rize. But what we came here for is basically to combine the on-rise armor with the core Gundam Rize, because honestly, there is nothing I can compare this beside to, basically comparing the looks of the armors. So without further ado, let's combine it into the Gundam on Rize power form. So first of all, let's remove the stand that is plugged up to its ass, and the stand is included, by the way, so good for you guys. And what you want to do first is to replace the hands with the feet, and then remove the arm extensions. Now make sure when you plug the claws back into the feet, the claws are actually facing this way. So same thing goes with the other side. And of course, now you remove the V-fin extension, straighten out the arms, and then actually lock the legs and kick the legs up all the way to the max. And then what you want to do with the core Gundam Rize is to actually remove the manipulators and then plug the gauntlets back on. Make sure that the gigantic piece is facing the outside. It's a little bit finicky because of the armor, but then again, eventually you'll get it to plug into the arm. And then plug on the V-fin upside down. And then finally plug on the entire leftover on-rise armor onto the backpack. So here you have the Gundam on-rise power form. And obviously, due to the back, it is gonna suffer from some weight issues. Thank God the stand is included to actually mitigate all of that. So you can just prop the core Gundam Rize up, and here you go. Here you have the power mode of the Gundam on Rize. It looks a little bit goofy with the gigantic knuckles without any other armor apart from the gigantic booster tanks that are plugged onto the back. But yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Although, yes, I'm not really too big of a fan of the upside down V-fin, but it depends on who you ask, I guess. So all in all, the power mode of the Gundam on Rize does look, I don't know, pretty interesting. I'm still not sure whether I like it or not. But then if you want to convert it to the speed mode, it is pretty easy as well, because the first step is also to swap the hands with the feet. But instead of having the gauntlets, you basically ripped off the legs over here, and then you plug the gauntlets back on, also with the gigantic piece facing outside, and then you just have it reaching out for a hug. And of course, you want to straighten the legs just to not have them dangle anywhere. And of course, you need to plug on the manipulators back on and rotate the V fin 180 degrees so that now it is the right side up. And then you just want to plug on the tanks over here onto the legs. And then finally rotating the claws down here 90 degrees. Same thing goes for the other one. And here is the Gundam on Rize speed form. I have to say I like this form better when compared to the on Rize Gundam power form because it looks less stupid, although it does have two full armor unicorn size fuel tanks on the legs, and of course you have a baby riding on the back of the core Gundam, just asking for a hug with beam blasters maybe. But then again, this form does look way better than the power form. But I don't know about you guys. So that's basically all you can do with the on Rize armor. Then again, the instruction manual shows you nothing else that you can do apart from attach the parts to the core Gundam. So everything else is up to the builder. Comparisons. This is gonna get a little bit awkward because I'm gonna bring in the Jupiter Gundam for comparison. So what works better for you? A partial set of armor or a full set of armor? I know it depends on the theme that you're going for, but yeah, this is probably going to be a new trend for the core Gundams, having a partial set of armor and then having you mix and match to create your own set of armor. And why not compare it to a more conventional Gundam, the Gundam Gian Ultron. So that's going to wrap it up for the on Rize armor review. I have to give it credit for being unique because it actually is. It's not a full set of armor, just 4 booster tanks and a central body to add like the backpack. And of course the separate armor form does have the potential to fight alongside the core Gundam Rize, so that's a pretty good possibility to go for if you're customizing with the on Rize armor. The 2 default forms are actually pretty good, but I prefer the speed form over the power form, and yeah, it does have decent articulation as the mannequin itself, so overall, this is a 6 out of 10. It is superior to the other support units that came out for the core Gundam because it does unlock a lot of possibilities. I would definitely recommend you to pick this thing up just to mess around or even customize with it. So that's gonna wrap it up for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more gunplay reviews, gunplay news, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the featured channels on my channel page if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.